All right, welcome back to the Supremely Black Podcast. This is your boy D Rose, fam. Coming to you today to bring in some information that I had came across and make sure I get everything right. Today is like with the Black Futures Lab, which is going to be launching a Black Census Project and interviewing or taking information from 200,000 Black people within America. Just to kind of give you a back date on what a census is, it collects data, lets you know exactly what's going on, how they feel about political issues, community issues, things of that nature. Now, major salute, let me make sure I get it right. Alicia Garza, which is the founder of this Black Futures Lab, this is going to be the largest census group that has been taken of Black people in the last 157 years. So major salute to her for putting this together. But now here's my thoughts on it. America makes up roughly around 37 to 38 million people with the United States. Now, this is going to be touching bases on, police reform, injustices, the president, what some of the political issues you may have, addressing the LGBTQ plus community, everything, right? But when you think about the 37 to 38 million that we actually have, and I look at this, I think this could do great because it's the biggest thing that we've had in 157 years. However, I want to know, and I want you all's thoughts as you're listening to this as well, and just drop them below. Are we really going to get a real grasp of what people feel is going on with the United States, right? They're going to have like big meetings in the following states. It's Georgia, Louisiana, California, North Carolina, and Wisconsin. Excuse me having to look down, but I want to make sure that I got this information correct. So they're going to have meetings in those areas, and as they're conducting the surveys, and they're going to have them in those 5 priority states. Now, all of them besides, majority of them are like southern states outside of California and Wisconsin. So my thoughts is, are you going to get a real grasp of like, how do people feel about it? Because if you look at it, people haven't had the highest praise for Joe Biden, Kamala Harris. We already know how we feel about the overall police state within our communities. We already know how we feel about just reform in general, justice in general. So we know across the board how that's going to feel, no matter if you're talking about from the hetero people to LGBTQ plus community. Regardless of how you feel, you're going to get the same gripes. But my goal is that if you're planning to use this data to get Black people more political power, what does that truthfully look like? I think this project is going to do wonderful because it's going to help you collect the information. But when you think about getting to the root of the issue, how do we change that? Because, full transparency, I know a lot of people that actually vote blindly Democratic, no matter of what the policies or procedures are or anything that actual president may stand for. And they're completely against any other party because they've been conditioned to say, we have to go Democrat. Black people go Democrat, right? Look at like what Joe Biden has said in the interview with Charlemagne is, if you're not Black, if you don't vote for me. And then when you think about a lot of the things that have changed, and when you look at politics for people that care about it, if you don't really have the House, a lot of things aren't going to get voted your way. But I've heard a lot of people that didn't care for Biden, and they was like, they didn't want to deal with Trump because it's a hyper racist, or racism is what he's pushing with the United States. And I'm gonna be real with you, that has never went anywhere. To be, what I'm saying? I don't think Trump incited anything any different. I think Trump made people show their true colors. And for me and my style, I appreciated that. Because a lot of times you could have someone that's like a Joe Biden that I know for a fact impacted people in my family and people that grew up in my neighborhood. You feel me? Like back in the 90s when he was real big on incarcerating black people, calling us super predators, you know what I'm saying? And a lot of people I know had a bad taste in their mouth, so they may have sided more with Trump because at least they knew exactly what he presented. Then there's also people, and I got homies that I'm cool with from the West Coast. They didn't have the best feeling about Kamala. If we just keeping it real, is that she had a high incarceration rate of indigenous people, of black people, people of color. She had a high incarceration rate of them. So a lot of them didn't have a good taste. And California's a pretty huge state when you think about voting. You feel what I'm saying? So it's like, when you put all these things in, it's that, would you rather deal with somebody that's blatantly just stirring up the crowd that he knows is going to support him? Or would you rather deal with how some people feel that Joe and Kamala played to black people's interests and have yet to deliver on anything since his presidency started? You get what I'm saying? So, and I don't even, my complete thing is that I still stand on, I feel as if that we need to create our own system, but I do understand the importance of the local and state elections, because that does help shape the way. And there are people that truthfully do have our best interests at heart, that are trying to go against the big machine. And by the big machine, I'm thinking to myself is that there are people that are put into places that are just mass distractions or puppets. And that's just what it is. And for people that don't agree, that's cool, click off of the video. But the most important part is when you think about these census projects, and this is the biggest one, like I said, in over 150 years, when they ask for this information, provide the complete truth, because a lot of times out of the 37 million, 38 million black people that we have in America, we don't get the chance to freely express ourselves unless we're around people that we're either cool with or we have the same like mind. And what usually happens with that is it doesn't go as far as the room, is because if you're completely too biased, that's going to rub the other person the wrong way. So when you have a census and you have someone that cares about getting a large group of black people's information out there, please tell the truth. It's not like you have a supervisor or somebody standing over your back, you know what I'm saying, to lead you astray or go a different way with your actual personal feelings. Is because without a platform, a lot of people are speechless. You know what I'm saying? You could go to social media, you could spread how you feel, but when you have something like that and they're going to use it, I think that is important for us to, really take the census, because I know a lot of times we don't, but more importantly, to express truthfully how we feel, because for the people that are willing to fight the political war, it's very needed. For the people that understand that regardless of how it swings, whether it's Republican in the office or independent, Democrat, understanding that there's going to be things that we have to fix within our community before we could go and attack things on a grander scale. But we all know that no matter how we all look at it, no matter your color, you should be treated fairly. We find ourselves behind the 8 ball on the whole treated fairly thing, but also we relinquish our power and give it to a political party. And then now we're stuck 4 years of trying to figure out who should we vote for next, or what should we do next, instead of really just taking it to our own power. So I still stand on myself as creating our own system and making sure that we have a strong foundation to push forward no matter of what, or establishing something very important that would keep people from just coming in and pandering to our votes to get it to go different ways. And this is for people that either vote or don't vote. Our presence is still needed within our community, right? That's how I look at this. But I think this is dope. And I was looking at this, and I think this would be something that a lot of people should be aware of. Again, it's blackcensus.org, but it's Black Futures Lab, and the founder is Alicia Garza. Now, for the people that have made it through this video, salute. I would really love to hear your thoughts in regards to, what do you think about this project? Do you think 200,000 people out of 37 million, 38 million roughly is enough to get a real, true view on how black people, no matter what community they're a part of, feel about what's going on in America? Second question is, do you think people will keep it real on it, or will they fabricate it or sugarcoat how they truthfully feel? And third thing, what do you think will come of this project? What can our community do to take what's the information that's provided with this project and push forward on a unique front to where we're all unified to move forward together? And that doesn't mean that we all have to agree, but it just means that we have to agree that we're moving forward. We may not agree with what's going on collectively, but we also have to think like, hey, we have to start moving this direction forward collectively. So those are my thoughts. This is your boy D Rose. Make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you share with other like minds. I'm out. Long live CC.